Okay, so I just want to put this out there. The glazing I'm going to give this character is even after I hit a full pity on her. I checked. It said 900. Or not 900. It said 10 before I did the multi, and I got her on the 10th out of 11. So I got this character at full pity, and I am still going to give this character the flowers she deserves. I am not salty about it being pity. It happens. You gotta pay the blood sacrifice sometimes. Apparently, I only paid it for my ult account. I did not pay it for my main, and that shit ran out with Ono no Komachi. Is what it is. Lilith. This character. Oh my god. This is one of those characters where you look at their kit and you're like, please do not change this kit. Do not nerf this. Because like you look at Lost Belt 6, how many characters had skills that were different from their launch skills? You had Percival, you had Muramasa, and Oberon. Although Oberon was a little different, they were hiding his class, they weren't hiding his skills, although they were hiding his third skill. But it is what it is. Lilith, this character, for some characters, she's going to be a bigger damage amp than Oberon, and I'm talking using her as a support. She would be a better damage amp than Oberon, but it depends on the enemy. So let us get started. I have not been recording videos in a while, so let me shake off the rust. First off, I love the demon form. I love the demon form, just the contrast. And like the scissor she's wielding. I did watch it, what was it? Kill la Kill. So the scissor blades, I'm about that. Base attack, very, very strong at 12.7k, almost 12.8k. That, like, off rip. This is supposed to be a DPS berserker. Where's her base attack sitting? On the upper ends, if not like top. I can't say top 10 anymore. This is top 12.8k, definitely not top 10. But we're talking top 10% easily. HP is lower than the attack. This character is also like super, like way more tanky than you'd even think. Plushie did like one of the fastest prison tower runs with his 120 Lilith. He bought Lilith with a USO, by the way, to make sure he got that content out quick. I respect that grind, but holy, please rework USOs, because Plushie can't ever get another copy of Lilith again with USOs. Isn't that sad? You can only buy one servant ever with USOs, and you can't buy that servant again with them. But considering you need 10 SSR dupes post 5, yeah, no, please. 10th anniversary, rework USOs, come on. Alright, but back to this. Star weight, star gen, these are normal berserker numbers. MP charge 0.4%. Now, lately this would be too low, but this character does not have the same synergy with Ruler Scotty that other characters has. Lilith has very, very strong synergy with Khazra drop, because both of them do defense down and both of them do crit res down. And if you're using Khazra drop and Lilith, there's gonna be a lot of stars going around, because they might Khazra drop might not refund a whole lot, but her quick cards are really good, and you can make Khazra drop counterclass whatever you want. Next thing so this 0.4%, you might think it's like not great, but it's counting you are going to be critting on these cards, and she has 4 cards to refund with. So yes, you're losing out on Ruler Scotty, but you are keeping like super strong uptime on both the MP and just also like crits. Like the MP spam is going to feed into the crit spam, which is going to feed into the MP spam. And another thing, she is chaotic evil, so you can use Doman to give her 100% crit damage and 140% attack. So we have something super interesting here. We have a chaotic evil servant that one of their best supports is Kazura Drop, not Ruler Scotty, and they're chaotic evil. So there's a super good chance you're not even gonna use Scotty with this character. You might do an alternative comp using just Doman and Kazura Drop, and depending on what type of enemy you're fighting, it honestly actually might turn out better. I'm really happy that we do have, like, it's not just double caster Scotty anymore, like it was in year 3. It's not that much more evolved from that, but it is better. All that matters is it's better. But low base number here, and being a berserker, this extra attack not gonna be great. You're gonna need a pen 1 as if you plan on using this servant as a crit like berserker. You probably are gonna want this at some point to make the extra attack, like, just do a little more, because if you're gonna be spamming chains all the time, your extra attack might as well give you as much as you can from it, although that's definitely not needed. We'll get into that a little bit later. First skill, 150% chance to charm. That's the base chance, by the way. Yeah, there's almost nothing. Like, this fights off Goddess Essence, Magic Resist combo. Like, having some of the best Magic Resist in the game, this bypasses it 100%. This was made with the intention that Lilith would be fighting rulers and alter egos that are super common to have that wombo combo and have like 50% base debuff resistance, or anywhere from 30 to 50. She does not need like any kind of like other buffs. Like, she does not need debuff. Well, she would definitely like debuff res down, but there are other characters that can do it, while this character, like, this charm offer it. The issue is this landing, although again, I want to preface this. 50% crit damage res. When you crit, you don't do more crit damage, you do more card damage. But again, only if you crit. Pretty sure Kazura Drop, this is the same exact icon. If I'm wrong, I guess I'm re-recording this. Yep, crit attack resistance. Crit attack resistance. Same buff. But yeah, hers is 50%, but this is super good. If you see this on characters and they are a crit servant, this is a skill you really want to level. This is basically a card buff you put on the enemy that is just when you crit. So you do bring up when I do my Storm Pods on my main account. I use Charlemagne, Ruler Scotty, and Kazura Drop. Charlie gets a full crit chain. All of his cards get a 50% card buff besides the extra attack, and he's also building up his super effective for his MP. Usually I do that in the second wave against the dragon, but it depends on how many buffs he has that he's able to one-shot that dragon in that chain. But Kazura Drop helps a hell of a lot more for that scenario than giving an individual card buff to any one ally. But you also have to remember, if you don't crit, that thing does absolutely nothing. So again, it's the same as like giving a whole bunch of crit buffs to yourself. If you don't crit, all those crit buffs don't mean shit. But if you do crit, you go from doing 100 damage to blowing up the enemy. Big difference. Big difference in leaving someone one shot and taking 2 attacks, and one-shotting them and only taking 1. When you leave 2 attacks, it leaves an opening per counter. So last part of this skill, and then we're moving on, ranting too much. 30 Star Bomb. So she doesn't even have the excuse of starting off slow when she's using Kazura Drop, because that is an issue. Kazura Drop and regular Scotty do not give stars. So if the DPS doesn't have stars to begin with, again, kind of shit out of luck. Mitigates the problem. You charm them, As long as you're able to MP and crit, you get a lot out of this. Second skill, this is the worst part of her kit. Flat out saying this is the worst part of her kit. And it's still better than a lot of servants have. 30% card buff for arts and quick, along with the 2 attack 3 turn dodge. If they only have 1 card type, this is on a 5 turn cooldown. If they have 2, this is on a 6. There are some 6 turns that only have 1 card type at 30%. I'm saying this is the worst skill she has. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, in comparison to like some of the other characters or buffs that have come out, some of them have been flat out lackluster. Like, this is not I wouldn't say this is a worse buff or a skill than what Karna and Arjuna, like their buff skill version, because it's 30% card buffs for 2 card types and MP damage. For her specifically, this dodge works out so well for her, because if she's charming someone, she's not, and she kills the other enemy, she does not take damage. So this dodge will last longer the more you can like actually juggle your enemies. And again, her skill cooldowns across the board are 6. Pen 5 brings it down to 5. Any other skill cooldown reduction that you have going somehow it just makes it so this character is like super hard to kill as a berserker. Do not take that as me saying this character is better than Summer Castoria or tankier than her. Absolutely not. You can't get more tanky than an arts spamming MP that gives you solemn defense every time you MP. Like, you cannot get more tanky than that. Especially in a team. This works just better solo, because if she crits, she can refund, and her MP will actually make stars. But yeah, good skill. Third skill, ignores invincibility for 3 turns, 30% attack, and a 50 battery while reducing her own mental debuff resistance by 30%. Yeah, this kind of sucks, but like, if you're farming, this literally doesn't matter. If you're doing multi-core farming, this literally does not matter. And you like, and for CQs, invo on a berserker for 3 turns. Like what are we actually talking about? Like, I have not looked at how other people have viewed this character. I saw this character's like kit like a week ago on the wiki, like incomplete, not seeing the hit counts, not seeing the MP gain, and I'm thinking there's no way, like, there's no way they were gonna actually release a character like this. Like, I honestly thought they were gonna nerf her MP before her release, but no, it's still the same. Her skills are still the same. This is a quick DPS berserker with a 50 fucking battery. Do you remember like last year where we were saying, oh, let's go Medusa, 50 battery for single target quick? Let's go. Finally. That was Medusa who stun locks. This character doesn't stun lock nearly as much, but she is going to kill you way faster than Saber Medusa will. Completely. Like, alright, passives. 12% buster up for Madness Enhancement EX. Her craziness loops back around, so sustain. Divinity B for extra tickle. Hatred C. Power mod against living humans by 10%. So I actually had a conversation with someone in my chat. They said Lilith probably should have been Avenger. I had not read the chapter. I had not looked at her skills. And I said, like, hatred for like all of humanity needed to be a thing. I did not know one of her skills was actually hatred. So again, I have not read id. I don't know the full story about Avengers, but I would assume that because Lilith has... No, I'm still not gonna make too much judgments. There's only so much like I can talk about, like why I think some characters are the way they are when they're 2 years out, when it would probably relate to something that came out a year ago. That's why people don't come for me for lore. Like, I'm literally just talking about what I understand. Like, I'm wrong probably half the time when it comes to like why characters are doing something, but at least for math I'm right, I would say like 95% of the time. All right, so talking about pens, It really depends. If you're doing multi-core, this is like non-negotiable. If you are doing multi-core, you have to get this, and it just will make your life so much easier. And we will get into that when I talk about like her combos, because there's like you just have to look through the damage sheet and you're gonna see like who she combos with, and it's gonna be woo. So anti-ruler kind of had a feeling it was gonna be like this, and a pen 5. Again, it really just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing 3-turn farming, unless you're doing actual cooldown reduction, you're probably not going to be too concerned about this. And like I said earlier, if you're spamming full brave chains, you might as well get this to just refund better, so you don't like stop at 97% out of 100 and you actually get to 100%. You never know when an extra attack is going to be the difference of you needing a command seal or a battery and you not, and just being able to save that for a better wave when you're not going to refund as much. So this MP has how many normal effects? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 normal effects that are usually like, yeah, sure, dot, defense down, usually as an overcharge though, and a power bomb. Sure, that's pretty standard for an MP. What the fuck is this? And on top of the power mod, she also has super effective against charmed enemies. There is such a reason Vision came out, they buffed Kama, and they buffed Babanshi. We're seeing the fucking reason, because this character, is she gonna charm lock as much as Kama? Fuck no. Absolutely not. She's nowhere near spamming charm as much as Kama. Is her SE as reliable as Babanshi or Vision? No. But if you're doing multi-core farming, like, you don't care. You care about her nuking the boss and then her doing whatever she needs to help the other DPS do its job, if she's the single target. Because not fully guaranteed she is going to be the one MP, like, going for the finishing blow, or she's going to be the setup. But I really want to talk about this. These two specific alignments, chaotic and evil. Yes, we've seen other characters that can inflict this on the enemy, Moriarty specifically. However, he is an AoE, and I don't know if you know this, but there are 2 characters in the game that have super effective mods that scale off MP copy. One is anti-evil, the other is anti-chaotic. And remember, both of them are anniversary servants, so a lot of people would have them. Arcwood at MP1 is 50%. But at MP5, it does double damage. It scales. But do not take this as me saying every time you use Arcwood or Summercast or Tonalico, Summer Morgan, you have to bring Lilith. You don't. Lilith is what I'm calling an enabler, and it's in the thumbnail too. When those characters cannot get their niche, Lilith is going to force the enemy to have that niche so that they can hit as hard as possible. In some cases, this is gonna make your damage higher than Oberon. It's usually with characters that have a lot in power mods, and yeah, a lot. Usually it's a lot in power mods that Oberon buffing the MP damage, also not using Black Rail, where Oberon is only doubling like 30 MP damage and making it 60, versus him taking 110 and turning it into 220. The more MP damage you're able to have, the better Oberon is. So the less MP damage you have, and the enemy is not chaotic, your damage is going to go up higher, because the super effective modifier is pretty much after everything, while MP damage only is conditional, or no, it goes into a part of the formula that is additive, and everything in that part of the formula might not be doubled. Again, if you have a ton of power mods and crit mods, like eventually, like if you get too high, like you can't go any higher. So there's not as much point of bringing a lot of crit if you already have like 300% power mod. Like adding 200% crit is not going to see as much of a difference as adding something else is going to multiply into the formula. This character does not have any MP damage though in her kit. So if you want to use her with Black Rail and do 3-turn farming with her against a single target enemy, and the enemy, like, she's just gonna save this for wave 3, and then she's also gonna crit, and it is gonna be just disgusting damage. This character just has so many options to like either make her pop off or let her enable other people to pop off. I do want to just bring up the dots here. It's not much, but I mean, if she is doing multi-core, and you probably aren't going to use her with Bission and Pavanchi, but at the very least, if anyone needs Poison or Curse, she can make the enemy do it. Build up for Van Gogh, I guess. Van Gogh is Chaotic Evil, but you probably are not using Van Gogh, except as a sole crit support, which they're just better options. Like, if you're choosing to bring Van Gogh, just bring double Doman, and it's like you don't have to do the setup. You immediately get that 80% attack and 200% crit damage for Lilith, which again for her is like fucking disgusting. It's gonna go really well with this, because again, this has crit res down, even though it has critical damage in the name, has nothing to do with modifying the crit damage. It's only card buffs. And then, so I was at work and thinking about this character. They have been promoting Grand Servants and getting Bond CEs. So do you think this character is gonna have a really shitty Bond CE, or do you think it's gonna be like fucking stupid and like what the actual fuck are they thinking? 5, 4, 3, 2. What the fuck is this? 30% MP damage, 30% crit damage against lawful alignment, and then another 30% against good. Are you fucking kidding me? Her Bond CE gives her MP damage and 60% crit damage against lawful good when she already has the power mods here. So with this Bond CE, essentially you will, like when you crit, you get 60% extra crit damage after your MP. Yeah, if you didn't have like a really good like summer cast Soria, like I'll even do like, this is not apples to apples, but they're both single target berserkers, and like they're yeah, no, like if, oh my god. Okay, so this is Summercast Soria's nerf. They made her MP like super supportive, and it's good for multi-core. So it's like the opposite. It's actually really funny. Like Summercast Soria, people do not use her in multi-core. They mostly use her for single target DPS, while Lilith is probably going to see more play as an enabler, and it probably would have been better if both of them swap Bond CEs. In terms of like Lilith being AoE and then Summercast Soria having DPS. Them is the breaks. Whether this affects people's decision for Grand Berserker, that's your choice. Me, I'm just gonna enjoy this character. So after this, we're doing just JP Ordeal call stuff, because NA has Storm Pods and JP has another evocation today, which I found out while I was at work. So hope you guys enjoy the video. This is coming out the next day. I'm gonna enjoy Etheria Restart, because that game is fun as shit. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.